everyone. My name is Joey. Welcome to our next workshop today in conjunction with Earth Day. Yeah, so today we are at KSL Sales Gallery at Bandar Bestari. We are hosting this live through both our Craft Space website as well as KSL Facebook website page. Yeah. So today we are very happy to be here again due to popular demand. Also to thank you for those of you who joined us today. Today is a very interesting topic that we are going to talk about. Apart from doing a workshop, which I will guide you later on the step by step. Main thing is we are talking about plastic-free life. So what is plastic-free life? Okay, why is it so important? So these are the common knowledge that we hope that we can actually educate our young generation, especially the kids, our kids, so that they can grow up to achieve a more sustainable living. Yeah. So first and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Joey. Today, welcome. Please find a comfortable seat so that we can start the session in a while, all right? So let's talk about what is plastic-free life, okay? Why is it so important? Ultimately, what we want is we want our world to be a better place to live in, right? So we are talking about, every day we are talking about saving our environment, saving our Mother Earth and ourselves, okay? And we all know that plastics are hazardous to us and our environment. So that is very important that we actually take steps or very aggressive action to prevent usage of plastic, all right? So like I mentioned just now, why we want to achieve plastic-free life? It is because we want to also make sure that we achieve sustainable living. Now, what is sustainable living? Sustainable living is actually a lifestyle that attempts to reduce our usage of the natural resources from the Mother Earth and also our personal resources, okay? So for those of us, sorry, for those of us who actually practice sustainable living, they often attempt to reduce their carbon footprint, yeah, by altering methods of transportation, energy consumption, as well as diet. It is not just in terms of buying things lesser or using things lesser. Yeah, it is much more than that. And ultimately, this is the main objective, yeah, that we hope that our younger generation will also achieve, rather than buying things all the time or using plastics. Those are the bare minimum. So, but now let's talk about the very basic one. We talk about plastic, all right? Because recent years we have been talking about plastic or single-use plastic, right? So what do we know about single-use plastic? Single-use plastic is also known as disposable plastic. Those plastic that are used only once, then they will be thrown away or to be recycled, okay? Now, sadly enough, in all the plastics that ever produced, 42% are single-use plastic, okay? Now, I think the number has increased due to the pandemic. Why? Because we have been using a lot of single-use plastic for the past 1 year, a lot more. If let's say you look at, you Google from the internet, you will see that there are a lot more concern when it comes to the pandemic, other than just the pandemic itself, yeah. Especially because when we are dealing with a lot of plastic usage, we will touch a little bit about that in a while. All right. So again, welcome. Hopefully that all of you are ready for the workshop and you are all equally excited about today's topic, because today is going to be a very relaxed and informative session, because like I mentioned just now, we hope that our young generation, the kids especially, will learn something apart from just doing workshop, right? so they can pick up some information, as well as for parents, I hope that you all also will be able to pick up a little bit more knowledge so that you all can share together with your kids. All right? So today, what are we going to make? All of you only know that it's best out of waste, right? So this is what we're going to make. We are going to transform plastic bottle into a coin bank. So you can have different characters, all right? But today we chose owl because owl is actually our favorite characters, my personal favorite characters, okay? So this is what it's going to look like. This is what I am going to teach you how to make it in a while, right? So what are the materials that we need for this session? Okay, for those of you who actually registered with us, you should have received the material list as well as the template, all right? So what we need is 2 plastic bottles, wash and clean, all right? Hopefully it's dry. And then we have some boxes, okay? Cereal box or any face mask box will do. We need a little bit thick material, but not too thick as carton box, all right? And then we need some paints. Acrylic paints work well. Paintbrush, okay? Paintbrush. Of course, you will need old cloth for you to dry your paintbrush, as well as a cup of water to wash your brushes, all right? And then we will need cutter and scissors. So please bear in mind that these are very sharp objects, okay? So when you want to use it, please make sure you get permission or ask your parents to help, all right? Glue stick, Yoo-hoo glue, or you can use glue gun. It's my personal favorite, all right? Additionally, you can add on some decorative items like ribbons, or felt stickers, or blings if you want, all right? Now, if you notice today, apart from the plastic bottle, we are not using anything that's related to plastic, all right? We will go through what are the commonly used products that we do not realize that it's actually plastic, okay? Later on, we will go through. All right, so I hope that you are ready. So let's get started. Now, first and foremost, we need these 2 bottles. We are going to cut this, all right? We only need the bottom half, all right? So if you have a ruler with you, it is good so that you can actually measure the height so that you can have both bottles the same height. Otherwise, you can cut it freehand, all right? So I will cut it freehand. So first and foremost, let's get a cutter. Get help from parents. We cut it and then we will use the scissors later on, all right? So cut a hole and then we use scissors now to continue cutting it. Okay. All right. Now, just now we mentioned about, single-use plastic and plastic-free life, right? Do you know that certain products, it takes a long time to decompose? Yeah, plastic bottle like this takes 450 to 1,000 years to decompose. That is the reason why we do not encourage the usage of plastic bottles that much, all right? Now, recent years, I think since probably year 2018, we have heard a lot of initiatives from the government, to ban single-use plastic. Also to clean up the beaches, yeah. We have a lot of clean up missions as well since 2018, if I remember correctly. So the first initiative that the government did was during that time was to reduce plastic bag usage when you go shopping, right? So they certain states as well, they ban the usage of plastic bag, and you have to bring your own shopping bag. So those are the things that we are, in a way, we are actually exposed to. But actually, in terms of plastic-free life, it is so much more than that. It is not just about plastic bottle or reducing usage of plastic bags or do not use plastic straw at all. You know, there are a lot of other plastic materials that are also bad for our environment and our Mother Earth. Yeah, like for example, plastic cutleries. You know, your plastic fork, plastic spoon, plastic knife. That one will take 100 to 1,000 years to decompose. Okay. Plastic bags, for example, or Ziploc bag. A lot of people like to use Ziploc bags. Yeah, Ziploc bags is considered plastic bags. Okay, it takes 20 years to decompose. Take out containers, like for example, when you want to go tapao food, all right? That is also bad, and it takes, I would say, about 50 to 80 years to decompose. So you see, even if let's say we are gone, the plastic are still there. And if let's say they do decompose, it's not going to be 100% decomposed. It will still be, it will break down to small pieces, which we call microplastics. So microplastics are also very, very hazardous, especially if let's say it goes to the ocean, okay? Because the sea animals will think that it's part of food, so they will eat it, and then it will stuck to their system. All right. There's a research that says that recently, 97% of what they found in dead animals, yeah, sea animals especially, 97% in their stomach, 90%, 97% actually consists of plastic waste. So it is that bad. That is the reason why we have to emphasize again and again that, you know, why is it so important to live a life without plastic, okay? All right. So our bottle is ready. So two, bottom, same size. Now, we need to cut a hole, yeah, so that we can actually put our coins or our money in, right? So cutting part here is a little bit difficult. So what we do is we need a rectangle space, all right? Enough for the coins to go in. So this part, again, we will get our cutter and then we will cut it slowly, all right? So this, if can, please get help from your parents to help you to cut this, all right? Now, let's get cutting. Okay. All right. So that's a hole that I've cut. Okay. Now we can start to paint it. You can actually see whether the size is good enough or not. You can see first, okay? If let's say you think that the size is too big, you can cut it smaller. Otherwise, if you think that it is good enough, then it's okay. Now for those of you who do not have the 1.5 liter bottle, you can use the 500 ml one. But when it comes to the template, please resize it to A5 size because the original size is actually A4. Okay. Now for those of you who join us without registering, don't worry. If you need template, please put it into the comment section. Our template will be also uploaded or posted at the comment section. All right. Okay, so the next step that we are going to do is we are going to paint the coin bank. I just trim this a little bit more because it's a little bit too tall for me, right? Okay, so this is the size that I want. So we are going to paint our bottle. Make sure you have your cardboard to put on your table so that you won't dirty your table. Okay, and then after that you can start by choosing your favorite color. Let's see. I want my top to be purple. Okay, so let's try. So you can choose any colors you want. Doesn't mean that you have to follow exactly. Okay. Now, because this is plastic, so the surface is a little bit smooth. You may need to go through a few rounds of painting, all right? But every time after we paint, we can just let it dry first before we put the other layer on, okay? So let's talk about a little bit more about plastic-free life. Now, we heard every time that, I think most of us know what is 3R, right? You know what is 3R? Anyone? If you know, please type into the comment section. Okay. 3R is reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay. But time has changed. Okay. We no longer only focus on 3R. Okay. There are 4 more other options that we need to take action of before we even send our plastic for recycling. Now, for those of you that joined us last week, we briefly mentioned about the 5R. I'm not sure whether you still remember. If you do, please write it down in the comment section as well so that we know before I tell you. Okay. So the 5R, the first R is refuse. Okay, what is refuse? Refuse means if we can avoid it or if we can do without, then we do without. Meaning if let's say we go shopping, we don't take their plastic bag. We bring our own plastic bag. Okay, if we want to go out, for example, yeah, so always remember to take a bag, regardless whether it is old plastic bag from the time that you went shopping and you really have to buy something with, or bring your own recyclable bag or reusable bag. That is a better option, all right? So that is refuse. Now, when you go to the restaurant, for example, avoid using plastic cutleries. Always ask for reusable cutleries, or you can bring your own, okay? Plastic straws, if you can do without it, or you use paper straws or silicone straws. Now, we do not encourage usage of metal straw. Why? Because it is sharp and it is dangerous for the kids. Yeah, so a better option for now that we found is actually a silicone straw. Okay, so that is refuse. What else that can we do? We can avoid buying drinking water when we are outside. How can we refuse buying or avoid buying it? We bring our own water bottle. Okay, so that is a few things that you can actually do to refuse plastic. Yeah. Okay, now if let's say you cannot refuse it, what can you do? So the second step is to reduce. Reduce means what? Reduce means if you really cannot avoid it, then you have no choice but you have to buy it. Consider buying it in bulk. Okay, like for example, I know for kids, right, they like to drink Vitagen, or they like to drink yogurt, milk, yogurt drink, or even eat yogurt. So you have those single pack yogurt, for example, right? So avoid buying that. Buy the big tub. Okay, buy the big tub. Why? Because you reduce or you minimize plastic usage, right? So what else can you reduce? Okay, so once one is done, so we leave it there to dry, and then we will take another, we will do another layer in a while. So we go for the next color for our second bottle. Okay, second bottle, I want it pastel blue. So I am going to take some white and some blue to make my pastel blue. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, so we mix a little bit of white to the blue. So if let's say you want to do pastel color, what you do is you take one part of the solid color, and then you add 2 parts white. Then you'll get pastel color. Or if let's say 2 parts is not enough, then you can add a little bit more. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the second step just now. We mentioned that, we reduce. So reducing, not just buy in bulk, okay? You can actually buy those products that are recycle friendly, or you can buy those that is what we call as alternative packaging. Means that packaging that use paper boxes, for example, or paper packaging. All right, so those are the better options. All right. Now, the third one, if let's say you already bought, for example, plastic or single-use plastic, you have it at home, for example. So what can you do? You can actually reuse it. Reuse it means like you make full use of it before you actually dispose. Okay, don't just straight away throw it in the rubbish bin. All right. So one of the examples that you can reuse your plastic bottle, for example. You can actually use it to store your cereal, or you can use it to store your pasta, for example. Okay, or your beans, or if let's say you have a lot of beets, for example, you can use your plastic bottles as a storage. Yeah, so that part is to reuse it. All right. Then, apart from reusing it, we have another steps, which is step 4, what we call as repurposing. This is what we are doing now, okay? Repurposing. So you may think that, what is the difference between reuse and repurpose, right? It's the same thing because you are not using it as the original form of usage, but the difference is that when it comes to repurposing, you need to put a little bit of thinking. You have to put your thinking hat on, and you will also encourage creativity, because there are so many things that you can do when you repurpose. Okay, Now, today, what we do is we are repurposing plastic bottle into coin bank. Do you know that plastic bottles can also be repurposed into lamp? You know, the cover of the lamp, right? It can also be used to make a lot of more things like hanging flowers, yeah. So that is why I say that, you know, when it comes to repurposing, there are a lot more things that you can actually do, all right? It's not just use it for other purpose, okay? So today's session is going to be a little bit more relaxed, yeah, and also more, hopefully that you all will get some information or get some insight on what is single-use plastic as well as plastic-free life, okay? We add in more. So when you paint this, make sure that you paint thoroughly, including the bottom as well. So once done, we just have to let it dry, and then we can apply the second layer. Okay. All right. Okay, my second layer is done. So I'm just going to put it here and let it dry. Okay, and wash my brushes. Here. Okay, let's go back to the first container so that we apply a second layer. Make sure that it's dry, or probably about 80% to 90% dry before you apply it. Otherwise, then the color will not stay. Yeah. Okay, so we have talked about the 5R, the 4 out of the 5R. First one is refuse. Then we talk about reduce, and then reuse, and then we talk about repurpose. Now the final one only if when we really no longer can be when no longer can reuse or repurpose, that is when we send our plastic materials for recycling. Now there are a lot more knowledge into preparing your plastics for recycling than what we have known, you know. It is not just like, oh, okay, I'm done with this plastic, now is to toss it into the bin. No. If you do that, you are not exactly recycling it, yeah. You're not really doing it. You are just tossing it as a trash, okay? So I will brief you, or I will guide you on how to actually really the proper steps of preparing your plastic waste for recycling, all right? So we'll go through it later. Otherwise, information overload. Okay, so almost done with the second layer. So for this workshop purpose, I am going to do only one. The other one, I will just leave it, but you can continue to do it so that we save some time, yeah. Oh, and for those of you who registered with us earlier, please stay on until the end of the workshop because we are also going to have lucky draw. We are going to draw 8 lucky winners, yeah. And the lucky winners will win 50 ringgit voucher. So please stay on until the end of the session. All right, so the second layer is done. So we let it dry. Okay. Now, for those of you who actually registered with us and already received the templates, I hope that you have already printed it out. So we get the template ready because that will be the next one that we are going to do. All right? And for those of you who do not have it, don't worry. You can find it in the comment section because our team has already posted it up. Okay, let's clean our paint brushes to get it ready for the next one. Okay. All right. So I will put this one side. And then get ready our template. So this is a very simple template. There's only one page. It has the leaf, the eyes, the wings, the tummy, as well as the feet. Okay. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to paste all this onto our cereal box or face mask box, and then we are going to cut it out and paint it on. Now, for those of you who prefer to color using marker as well as color pencil, you can also do it because it's pretty much already in place. So what you need to do is just color in, all right? So let's cut this. Okay. So what I usually like to do is, before I properly cut it, I will just trim it a little bit and then stick it on before I cut into the shape. Okay, so what we do is we will stick it on. Just you can stick it on to this side, or you can stick it on to this side. If let's say you stick it on to the plain side, you just paint on your template. But if let's say you stick it on to the non-plain side, then when you paint it on the opposite side. Okay, so it looks nicer. Okay, so this one, we will take the glue stick and stick it on. Okay, so glue stick. Okay. And then we stick it on. I will prefer to stick it on to the non-plain side so that I can use the other side to paint. Okay, so stick it on to the other one. Okay, feet is done. Now we do the leaf first. Okay, we cut the leaf a little bit and then we aligned it so that we don't waste our cardboard. All right, and then we put glue. So while we do this, let's go through some of the plastic that we use on our daily life. Let's see what can you think of. Okay, so mummies and daddies, if your kids are doing this, perhaps you can also let us know how much do you know your plastic. Okay, what are the things that are available at your home that is actually plastic, apart from just plastic bottle, plastic cutleries, plastic straws, plastic bags. What else do you think is plastic? So once you have already have the answer, you can actually type in the comment section so that we know that you are aware. You know. Otherwise, then I will let you know in a while. Okay. So the most common one, of course, are those that I mentioned just now, like plastic bottle, plastic bags, Ziploc bags, plastic utensils like plastic fork, plastic spoon, stirrer for your hot beverages, plastic cups for your beverages if let's say you go and buy drinks from outside, plastic straw, okay, take-out containers when you go out tapao food, okay, and then you don't bring your own container, then they will give you the plastic containers. Those are the common plastic that we see in our daily lives. But actually, it is more than that, okay? In your house, I'm pretty sure that you have toothbrush. Those are single-use plastic because you only use it. Probably you don't say that you use it only once, but you have to change it like every a month or so, okay? So that is why now even toothbrush, they are coming up with the wooden type, so it can last longer and it's more environmental friendly. Okay, what else that can you think of? Single-use plastic. Cotton buds. I'm pretty sure your house has a lot. Yeah, those that you use to clean your ear. Okay, so cotton buds, not only it is single-use plastic, actually it is also not good. Yeah, because if you do not use it in a proper way, manner, it can actually damage your eardrum. So that is the reason why we don't encourage you to use cotton buds. What else? Kids love this. Every time if you go to shopping malls or anywhere, and then you will see them distributing it. Balloons. Balloons are single-use plastic. So boys and girls, remember, if let's say next time if you go to shopping malls, please do not take the balloons. Because why? It's single-use plastic and it's not good. Yeah. Like what my kids always say, save the turtle, okay? Refuse plastic. So if you can avoid it, please do not take it, all right? So plastic and balloon and balloon stick is actually single-use plastic. What else? This is for men or for daddy, okay? Your razors. A lot of male, yeah, or our daddy likes to use disposable razors, okay? Try not to, because it's actually single-use plastic, right? What else? This one, I'm pretty sure our house also has a lot. I'm guilty of it because it is so convenient. So we also use it, but try to find alternatives. Okay. We use this more often now compared to last time. It's actually wet wipes or disposable wipes. Okay. Wet wipes is actually single-use plastic. Yeah. So now even they come up with antibacterial wet wipes and all that. So those are still single-use plastic. So if you can, try to avoid it. Okay. Do you know that some stationeries are also single-use plastic? Can you think of some? Yeah, I'll give you some hint. Cellophane tape. We don't realize it, yeah, but we use it so often, and it has become a must-use item sometimes, yeah. Anywhere, whatever things that we need to stick, we use cellophane tape, or we use double-sided tape. I personally, I would try to avoid using it because why? Not just it is single-use plastic, and I find that a lot of kids nowadays, they don't like to use glue because to them it's sticky and they don't like the feeling. But it is good for their sensory, yeah. They need to learn how to manage glue so that it is better, it is more environmental friendly, okay? So try to use glue more often compared to tapes as well or double-sided tape. Okay, any form of double-sided tape, it is single-use plastic. Okay. What else that you can think of? Okay, those shower foam bottles, dishwash bottles, those are single-use plastic. Yeah. So that is why they always say that, when you want, these are things that we can't really avoid it, we can't refuse it, unless, of course, they sell those laundry detergent in box, then it is good. Otherwise, then you can't really avoid it. So what you do, you buy in bulk. These are the things that we always say that you reduce. So you buy in bulk, all right? Glitters, sequins. Kids, they love bling bling stuff, right? So whatever they do, they buy glitter glue, glitters, those are single-use plastic. We don't realize it, yeah. But if you Google it, then you will see it's single-use plastic. So try to avoid using glitter if can. Actually, glitter is also not good for health because if let's say you inhale it, it is also bad for our lungs. All right. So, but I know that kids love glitters. So now you know that it's not good, not just for your health, but for the environment also. So try to avoid it. Right. Also, when it comes to craft materials, try to use more papers, try to use more felt, okay? I know some people may say, oh, paper is too thin, felt is flimsy, yeah, it's not thick enough, it doesn't stand, but it is better for the environment. Why? Because EVA foam is also single-use plastic. So that is why we try to avoid using it as well. So you see, there are a lot of materials that we use in our daily lives that are actually single-use plastic. We don't realize it, right? We don't really realize it until now. Okay, and the most single-use plastic item that we use now, day to day, ever since the pandemic. What do you think it is? Anyone? The first answer that get it right, you will get a 50 ringgit voucher from CraftSpace. So please type in to the comment section. Okay, the hint is very obvious. It is one thing that we use every day now. Is a must for us to use. Without it, we can't do anything. Oh, we have a winner. And who's the winner? Jasmine. Congratulations, Jasmine. Is a disposable face mask. Okay, it is single-use plastic. That is why, how do we refuse it? Because it's mandatory, right? So how do we refuse it? By not going out that often. That is the first step. If we have to go out, we have no choice. We have to go work or do our daily chores and things like that. What can we do? We reduce it by finding alternatives. What can we replace disposable face masks? We use a reusable face mask. All right? So there are a lot of concern, yeah, if you check on the internet, that disposable face mask is creating more challenge for the environment. So that is why now they are also looking for ways to reduce or find alternatives to disposable face masks. Do remember, it is not something that we can avoid it. So we can actually reduce, and let's, keep all these disposable face masks for the frontliners, for the healthcare, because they are directly impacted. All right. So for us, if we can avoid using it, avoid using it. Okay. Sometimes it's easier said than done, right? So it's but it's so convenient to use plastic. Yes, it is convenient, but we have to also think about our next generation and the generation after that. Because if, let's say, we don't take action now, they will not be able to enjoy what we have now. That is the reason why there are a lot of organization that is coming up with products that is more sustainable, okay? Plastic-free products. There are also some stores in Malaysia that actually ask you to bring your own containers, yeah, when you buy certain products, yeah. So try to also participate or visit them if you can, so that you play a part as well, okay? Certain grocery stores are already practicing no single-use plastic, as well as they use alternative packaging when it comes to buying perishable products like fruits and vegetables, okay? So they use mesh bags, okay? Mesh bags are made from cloth, okay? Or you can even use other materials. In fact, you can actually create your own mesh bag from old t-shirts, yeah? So you can do it. So that is what we meant by repurpose, okay? So there are so many things that we can do when it comes to repurposing, yeah? Okay, so we are done pasting. So now we are going to cut. Okay. So like I mentioned just now, when it comes to sustainable living, it's not just about reducing plastic use. It's about reducing a lot more. Like, if let's say you can do without certain things, then you do without certain things, regardless whether it's plastic, paper, glass. Okay. Now I can foresee that after what we call that, plastic-free initiative that has been already implemented. The next initiative that we may hear will be fabric waste. Yeah, so fabric is also another major concern because, well, we change our fashion has 4 seasons. Yeah, every year they have different seasons. Every year they will change different designs and all that. So for those who actually are following the trend, then they will also change their wardrobe. So it is a major concern as well. But let's start one step at a time. So we do the obvious one first and more hazardous one first, which is plastic. Yeah. Then we will do the other part. All right. Now, you may think that, you may ask a question like, since plastic is so hazardous, so what can we do? Okay. What can we observe if, let's say, we really have no choice but to buy plastic packaging products? So there are a few things that to notice when you buy or to observe. Okay, the first one is look at the tiny triangles. Yeah, the tiny triangles at your plastic bottle or plastic packaging to see whether it is worth buying or not. Okay, why? Because when it comes to plastic, right, there are 3 categories. Yeah, one category is plastic that can be reused. The other one is cannot be reused. And one is totally you have to avoid it, which means it is not only cannot be reused, it's actually hazardous to your health. All right? So how do we check? Now, every plastic container or plastic bottle, it comes with a tiny triangle at the bottom, okay? It will always come with it. So you have to check. You have to check, okay, to see what is the number. So these are the numbers that you have to remember, okay, when you buy anything that comes with plastic packaging. Plastic that can be reused, it comes with number 2, number 4, and number 5, okay? These are the plastic that you can reuse or, in fact, repurpose and recycle, all right? Now, plastic that cannot be reused is number 1, number 3, and number 7, okay? These are the plastic that cannot be reused. Means that there's no reason for you to even send it for recycling, if anything, all right? And avoid usage is number 6. If you see number 6, please do not buy, okay? Because that is not just, it's bad for the environment, it's bad for your health as well, okay? All right? So I hope that you have already finished cutting, and then now let's paint it, all right? So you can paint anything first. I will start with the tummy, as it's a heart shape. Let's see. Okay, I will paint my tummy pink. Okay, so if you stick your template onto the non-white side, then you have to paint on the white side, yeah? Otherwise, then you can straight away paint it onto the paper. Okay. All right. So once I'm done with this tiny tummy, I am going to draw 4 lucky winners. Yeah. So please stay tuned. And remember, if your name is called or your kid's name is called, please write it down into the comment section and let us know that you are here. Now today, we are only going to call your name once, okay? Because we want to save some time so that we can share more information with you. So we are going to call your name only once. We are going to observe until the end of the workshop, and if you did not write your kid's name into the comment section, that means that 50 ringgit is going to be forfeited and no replacement will be done, all right? So please listen carefully. Okay, first layer is done, so I'm going to put it here to let it dry. Okay, let's do our lucky draw. Are you all ready for the first 4 lucky winners? All right, let's clean my brush and let's get the bowl of names ready. Okay, let's see who is lucky winner number 1. Oh, Ishaq Fateh Ashid. Okay, Ishaq Fateh Ashid. Okay, so we will pass this to our moderator to observe. The next name, Esther Leong Chi Chin. Esther Leong Chi Chin. Okay? Okay. Next name, Marwa. Marwa. Right? And then the other one, Swan Suen. Swan Sen. Okay? So congratulations for the 4 of you. If your name, if you type in your kid's name in the comment section, automatically you will be entitled for the 50 ringgit voucher. Otherwise, then if let's say we did not see your comment after the workshop, then it will be forfeited and there's no replacement. All right? Ah, that's good. So all of you are here. Good job. I love it. Okay, so let's continue with the next one. I'm going to paint my wings. Okay, let's see what color do we put. I'm going to put orange. Okay. So orange wing it is. So we have learned a little bit about single-use plastic and the 5R, as well as what are the plastic that we can buy or observe or can be reused. In fact, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about recycling. Although it is the last step for the 5R, because there are 4 more actions that we need to take before we actually send for recycle. But it is also a crucial steps, yeah. At this point of time, you know that we, Malaysian, only recycle 30% of materials. It includes plastic, it includes paper, glass, aluminium. It's only 30%. So what happened to the 70%? We just throw it as general rubbish, which is bad. Because at the end of the day, we should be seeing higher numbers, yeah. But unfortunately, sadly to say that no, it is not the case. So that is the reason why it is more important even for us to refuse and reduce, so that we can, if let's say we cannot increase the recycling rate, at least we do not make it worse. All right. After all, the first step is always to refuse. Second step is reduce. Recycle is only the fifth step, the last step. Okay. Our recycling center, you must be thinking, but I do separate my rubbish. Yeah. I do send it to recycling center. Why is only 30%? Why is it so low? Well, let's put it this way. Recycling center, they only concentrate on recycle plastic that are easily retrievable and also has high value. Okay, like PET bottles. There is no reason for them to take on those low value items, because it doesn't make any contribution to them. So plastics like, for example, the food packaging has low value. Okay, so they are rarely recycled. If you throw it, if you take it or use it, most of the time it will end up in landfill or in the ocean, if let's say we do not dispose it properly. So that is the reason why the government's first initiative is to avoid plastic bags, avoid straws. They ban these two first. Why? Because these are the two items that even recycling center is not going to accept it. Okay. So what are the other things? Take out containers. Okay. So they are also not taking it. It cannot be recycled. So that is the reason why, if let's say you go tapao food, please bring your own. Okay. We always tell our kids, BYO, bring your own. All right. Everywhere you go. Sometimes it is very inconvenient, yes, but it has to do with habits. Okay. If you do it every day, I can assure you after 31 days, it will stick to you. Yeah, every day you do it for 31 days, because research has already shown, yeah, everyone, whether it's a good habit or bad habit, it only takes 31 days for it to stick. So do it right 31 days, then you will continue to do it subconsciously. Okay, you won't feel that it's a hustle anymore. All right. So this is the first step. Everywhere you go out from now onwards, bring your own water bottle. Okay. If let's say you need to go and buy food for takeaway, bring your own containers. All right. So that is how we can actually contribute. If you want to buy things, buy in bulk. All right. If let's say you cannot avoid buying things, I know, because plastics are commonly used and manufacturers use plastic a lot. Okay, because it is a cheap alternative to other packaging. All right. So, but we have to take an action. Yeah, sometimes we have to stand firm of what we want. Okay. Okay, so now I have left the eyes. So let's see, what color do I want? I will take back this color then. Blue and white. Should I use? Yeah, I should use blue and white. I can't decide. Okay, so we will go with blue. All right. Okay, so just now we mentioned that recycling, yeah. So we talk about recycling, and I also mentioned that when it comes to recycling, there are more actions that or more knowledge than just after use and throw it away. If you know or if you are practicing proper recycling, then good for you, because you are part of the contributors for that 30%. But if you don't, I hope that from now on, you will start to practice it. It is what we call as the 6-step process. Yes. It is not just as simple as after we use, we throw. That is not the way, yeah. So what is the 6-step? Okay. First, we need to separate the cap from the bottle or any parts from the bottle. Okay. Second, we need to remove the label. Okay. The label can be plastic or paper, so you need to put it into the proper recycling bag or recycling bin. And then we need to wash thoroughly. Okay, we need to wash. The fourth step is we need to dry it thoroughly as well. It has to be completely dry. Yeah. And then the fifth step is to crush it or to flatten it so that it saves space. Then only you put it into the recycling bin. So you see, a lot of times, for convenience sake, we just throw it and we think that, oh, okay, the recycling center is going to separate all this for us. No. Now, what happened for those that they receive, but it is not separated like that? They will just put it into the reject section, which means at the end of the day, it will still be ended up into the landfill. Okay, it will end up in landfill if they do it properly. Okay, now this not just apply to plastic, yeah. It also applies to plastic, to glass packaging, paper packaging, as well as aluminium. We need to do that because, like for example, if let's say we talk about plastic bottle, it is filled with beverage, or in fact, if let's say for example a soy sauce glass bottle, it is after you use it, you have to wash it thoroughly, let it dry before you throw it or send it for recycling. Yeah, because they will not wash it in the recycling center. Some recycling center, they do have that process, but most of it don't have. So you need to do your part before you actually dispose it. Okay? So we are done with all the painting. Now let's see which one we need to do a second layer. And then we are ready to assemble everything together. All right? So I'm just going to quickly do up this because it needs a second layer. Okay. All right. So second layer is done. Now let's take our bottles that we painted earlier. So the paint we can put one side because we no longer need to use them. Okay. So we are going to take the bottle and make sure that it's completely dry. Okay. So it's dry now. Now we have to put these two parts together. And how do we stick these two parts together? There are two options. Okay. If you have ribbon, you can actually wrap ribbon around it. Alternatively, you can use zipper. Zipper, why we say zipper is because if let's say you use zipper, you can actually reuse this more or longer. Okay, you can, once your coin bank is full, you can actually unzip it, remove all the coins, and then you can use it again and again and again. Okay, but if you use ribbon, then every time if let's say you want to reuse it, you have to replace the ribbon. So that is also wastage. Yeah. But today we are going to use ribbon because I don't have zipper for now. So what we do is we align this properly and then we have to cover this with ribbon or zipper. Okay? So just hot glue it or use a Yoo-hoo glue to stick it on. Alright? So let's do this part. Be very careful if let's say you are using hot glue gun because it's hot. Okay. So okay. So you just have to hot glue it. And then align it properly. Okay, we are almost there. This part is, you need a little bit of concentration so that make sure that it is all covered. Okay. So I'm going to put a second layer. Right? And we cut off. Okay. So it's done. Now, please remember, before you stick your eyes and all, make sure that the one with the coin slot is on top, yeah? Make sure that the one with the coin slot is on top, not at the bottom, okay? So on top. So from here, we can start to stick our, we can start to stick our other items, okay? I missed out the feet. So let's quickly paint the feet. Okay, one feet done, second feet. Okay, second feet is done. And then we have the leaf. Okay, the leaf, you can paint it same color or you can have two different colors. I am going to paint it two colors. Okay, I want my bottom leaf to be dark green. Okay. Okay. So dark green. And then I want my second layer to be, the top layer to be yellow. Okay, let's cover this. And then take another paintbrush. And we do the yellow color. Now, now that you know that in order to recycle or send our waste for recycling, there are more knowledge into it. So I hope that you will start, yeah, to practice it, because not only it is important for recycling, it's actually a practice that is going to help us as well, because at the end of the day, it is about, you know, decluttering, cleaning. It is a habit, yeah. So it's more than just sending our materials for recycling. All right. So leaf is done. Okay, now we can put all our painting items at the back. Okay. All right, so let's start sticking. Now this part, you can use Yoo-hoo glue or you can use hot glue gun. Okay, it's up to you. Now, first and foremost, we have to decide where to paint, where to stick our eyes as well as our tummy. So let's say we put it here, like this. Okay. So tummy is supposed to be right in front of your coin slot. Okay. So you don't have to stick all the way. You don't have to stick it all down. Okay. You can just put glue in the middle. Okay, and then you just stick it so that it's stand up like this. Okay, it will stand up like this. Okay, so let's put glue. Now I love to use hot glue gun because it is faster. Yeah, but of course I know that it is also dangerous, or maybe you feel that it is not safe for kids. Yeah, so you can use Yoo-hoo. But ultimately, it is also good for them to learn how to use a hot glue gun. Because when it comes to doing arts and craft, hot glue gun is a must-have item. Yeah. So this is one part done. Then we can start to put our eye. So the eye we will put next to each other, because owl, their eyes are very close to each other. So we can put probably something like this. Okay, just align it. Okay. Okay. So just align it. Okay, so let me stick this first, then I will show you. Okay, so one eye. All right, let's do the other one. Very close to each other. Okay. You can see? So it's very close to each other. All right. Then after that, we put our beak in between the eyes. Okay. So the beak in between the eyes. All right. And then now, your wings. So the wings you can put, depends on you whether you want your wings facing this side or the other way around. Okay. Or like this. Okay. So you can put like this or the other way around. Okay. So I'll put like this. So it should be like this. So this one you can actually bend it a little bit so that it is not so flat. And so when you stick it, then you can still see it jutting out a bit, right? Okay. So we put it here, one. And then the other one will be here. So I bend it a little bit. Okay? And then we stick it over here. All right. So let's do this. Okay? So this is done. And then now we move on to the feet. So the feet, you can actually put at the bottom. Okay? Or you can put it here. Okay? So if let's say you put at the bottom, it is as if it is standing. If let's say you put it here, it's as if it is sitting down. So it's up to you. So I am going to put it very close to my tummy. So I'm going to put it here, like this. Okay. I'm going to put it very close to my tummy, all right? And then the other one. Okay. And the last bit is the leaf. You can place your leaf anywhere you want. Okay. I will put it here. Okay. There you go. So and we are done. So now the next thing is, of course, if let's say you want to add on any decoration, you are free to do it. Okay. So you can add flowers, you can make flowers and stick it. Or if let's say you want to add ribbons, you can do it. Now, when it comes to ribbon, be very, very mindful that plastic ribbon is single-use plastic, so we try to avoid it. So we use the cloth type, okay? So that's why I said, apart from plastic bottles, today everything that we use are non-plastic. Yeah. This is the first step for you to take it as a habit. Yeah, first, very, very first step to take it as a habit. Yeah, to lead a plastic-free life. Put it that way. Okay. So I am going to put a tiny ribbon. Probably I will choose a different color. Okay. Yeah. Now I will just take back the gold color one. It looks nicer. So we tie a ribbon. So first step is to reduce plastic, or in fact, refuse plastic. Second thing, of course, we are talking about sustainable living, means everything reduce. Try to take public transport if possible, try to conserve energy, which means if let's say you are not using any power or electricity, then try to avoid it. Buying products or use products that is more energy efficient or energy friendly, like some with alternative energy, like certain things like solar powered. Yeah. When it comes to solar power, there are many products or many items that you can actually get. Yeah. In fact, cars are already coming out with solar powered vehicles. Yeah. So that is also one part of it. Diet, which means we eat only what we can eat, and there's no wastage, because food waste is also one very critical part, yeah, that the world is trying to solve at this point of time. But of course, food waste, it is not as hazardous, so that is why they are putting more priority into plastic waste. But food waste, fabric waste, these are the two very important topics that we should also take note, yeah, in order for us to lead a more sustainable lifestyle, right? So ribbon is done. So I am going to probably stick it somewhere here in the middle. Okay. So we hope we can actually do more to achieve sustainable living. Okay. Perhaps you can also start or encourage the kids to start doing some gardening, Now, when it comes to gardening, not just plant flowers, you can grow vegetables, herbs, yeah, fruits. So these are the things that we can also encourage them to do, apart from just recycle or reduce plastic usage, or plastic-free lifestyle. We have to encourage them to also eat healthily, and also to reduce food waste, yeah, and to encourage them to always reduce, refuse, recycle, okay, and best of all, when it comes to arts and crafts, there are so many wonderful materials that you can find from all your packaging, especially now, where we do so much online shopping. You have so many boxes, you have a lot of plastic bags. You can actually reuse it first or repurpose it, okay? Oh yeah, talking about online shopping, yeah. One of the main materials that they use is actually bubble wraps. That is unfortunately single-use plastic, yeah. In a lot of countries, they already do away with bubble wraps. They use other alternatives, yeah. So one of the alternatives that you can use is they use materials that is made from cornstarch or potato starch, yeah. So these are the things that we also need to take note, yeah. If let's say you really need to buy things, make sure that it is not plastic, all right? It is very minimum plastic usage. Sometimes when we buy something online, right, when it comes, the inside there, it's the item is so small, but then the packaging is like, oh my God, it's so much plastics, yeah. So that is one thing. All right. So I hope that you have gained a little bit of info or insight about plastic-free life and how we can actually help to save the environment by contributing a little bit in terms of refusing, reducing, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. Okay, we also talk about how to recycle properly. So I'm going to just repeat it one more time so that you can remember. Okay, first step into recycling before we send it to the bin is to separate all caps from the bottles, regardless whether it is plastic bottles or glass bottle or even aluminum can. If let's say you have some aluminum can has bottles as well, so the cap as well. So just remove the cap, and then after that you remove the labels, because some labels can be plastic, some can be paper. So remove it thoroughly so that you can separate it, all right? And then you need to wash it thoroughly, okay? Washing it, and then you have to dry it completely so that it doesn't have mold inside there, okay? And then after that, you need to flatten it, or you have to crush it so that it saves more space. The final step is, of course, to throw it into the proper recycling bin or recycling bag, okay? That is how we actually recycle, right? So I hope that you have enjoyed the session. Now it's the time for us to draw another 4 more lucky winners. Let's see who will be the lucky ones. Okay, so again, let me repeat the rules. I will call up the names, and then we will pass it to the moderator. If you heard your name or your child's name called, please type into the comment section with your child's name, all right? We are going to call it once. If you are not here, automatically it will be forfeited and it will not be replaced, all right? So the first 4 are here. So congratulations. Now we are going to draw another 4 more, all right? Let's see the first one. Oh, Ryder Ng. Congratulations, Ryder. This is your second week winning. Yeah. So Ryder. Okay. Okay, next one. Let's see. Tam Yan Yi. Yan Yi. Okay. So you are the second winner. So if you are here, please type into the comment section. Raisha. Raisha. Okay, if you are here, please type into the comment section. And the last one, Yu Huai En. Yu Huai En. All right. So if you are here, please type into the comment section. All right. Let's see. Are all of you here? 3. Who else is not here? Yu Huai En. Okay. Parents of Yu Huai En, if you are here, please type into the comment section. All right, good job. So today all 8 are here. Well done. So I hope that you have enjoyed the session. Okay, and yeah, you have gained a little bit more information about plastic-free life. Okay, it's a wonderful experience for us to be here with you. So we are going to end this with a side note. We have a new phase of launching of our semi-D and Durian Party next week, Sunday, 18th of April, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. right, in KSL Sales Gallery, Bandar Bestari. So please join us, okay? Now, please remember, before you come, call us or WhatsApp us, yeah, to book your timing, because due to the MCO, CMCO, so we have to make sure that we keep everyone safe. So please make sure you call in and make your booking before you come, okay? Anytime from 12 to 6, all right? So durian lovers, please make sure you come, yeah? All right? So I hope that it's a very informative session for you this round, and of course, we hope to see you again. Thank you for joining us, and I wish you all a happy weekend. Tomorrow, for those of you who are going back to school, enjoy your school. My name is Joey. I'm from Craft Space. Until the next time that we meet, bye.